Yes, once again, since my debut on Profile, this is the first time I'm getting a chance to speak to my friends. Um, I would like to say thanks a very thanks a whole lot to a whole lot of people who have sent their remarks and comments on how inspirational my two TVJ profile interview were. Basically, it was just being real, like tell it like it is, and just telling my story of how you know how I was able to to transform myself from Charlene, the ghettoized situation in Charlene, to the corporate world in America. So just want to like it's amazing the response. you know Before doing the interview, I have maybe 2,000 Facebook friends. I don't now I'm completely oversubscribed. I have 5,000. So anybody that wants to follow me and follow what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of years with my motivational speaking and my Ghetto Youth Bible series. Still working on the book with Marsha Malcolm. That's still in the initial phase. I'm still looking to push that on and hope to get it out sometime next year. But I want to say a big thank you, to everybody who sent their comments and commend me on a great interview. I think if I to speak for myself, the interview was not difficult because I was just telling it how it is. I think I was I think God gave me that inspiration to tell my story. It was easy, and so it wasn't difficult for me to just to talk to people and just to explain people how I was able to turn lemon into lemonade and just turn most negative situation that I was met with to positive. And I think that's something that I want to talk about today. I'm actually all dressed up. I'm at work, but I'm kind of a little bit dressed up because the Jamaica ambassador Arjun Marks actually sent me a message. She sent me an invite to be her Facebook friends, then followed by a message to say she heard about my interview, she watched it, she was inspired, and she would like to meet me. So the ambassador to the USA actually sent me out to invite to for events. So I'm going to meet her 6:30 today. Don't know what that will be about, but I'm interested to see how I could use this as to my benefit and to the benefit of my Dream to Reality Foundation, and also to talk about my Ghetto Youth Bible series as well. So it's been a blessing. I should say a absolute blessing for for me to have the platform to talk to people, to inspire, to impact change. And this is the platform that I will continue to use for people to just to push themselves and just push the envelope of any opportunity. There's something that one of my lessons today that I want to talk about is seizing the initiative. That's something making use of the opportunity, that you would say. Seizing the initiative. That's something that I used every part of my career, and I think that's something that a lot of people can learn from. If the opportunity show itself, you have to be ready. One of my main motto is fail to prepare, prepare to fail. So make sure that you put yourself in the position to seize the initiative. So, I'm going to give you some examples in which I was able to seize the initiative and to expand and to on expand on expand my horizon. enduring different things. I remember when I was in England, I was working as an engineer, so it wasn't that easy. I got the engineering job, as you heard from on profile. Got my first engineering job at Tucker's Consultancy, and at the time, as I said initially, they offered me £8 an hour. They doubled it to £16 an hour, but it was still tough, because that still was only maybe like about £18,000 a year, which in today's terms sound like a lot of money, but it wasn't. So there was still a struggle and a challenge. So I was still living with my parents at the time because I just moved to London, so I had no choice. But what I was I remember I said to myself, what can I do otherwise from doing my engineering work? I kind of like teaching. I remember when I was at university, I used to do lectures, like in terms of extra classes. Even from Mannings, I was teaching extra classes, and and people would pay me to do that because I was very good at maths, and people would pay me to do maths. So I thought, why don't I do some teaching? So I called up some tutoring agency. They were able to give me a job, and what happened is that they gave me a job that in the evenings I was able to do personal tuition, and this range from students from like 7 to 18, 19, 20 years old. So it's just from primary school to even sixth form level. But what I was able to do, I did that for a year for agencies. So they pay me, £12 an hour, and they charge the folks like 25 or 30. So they were making money off my head, but I was okay with that. And after a while, I thought, I'm working £16 an hour at my job, and they're farming out work for me and charging people 25, 30 to 35 pounds an hour for me to teach. So why don't I open my own tutoring agency? So this is what I'm talking about with Caesar's initiative. I did. So I opened my own tutoring agency called First Choice Tutors. I put out my ad in the newspaper, and what I did for all those people that I'm teaching, so the incumbents that I'm teaching, I basically offered them a deal. I said to them, instead of charging or paying the agency £35, why don't you pay me £20 an hour directly, and you don't have to go through the agencies? And I did that until I remember at one point, I had 2 students every day after work. So I'm talking about working 9 to 5. Then after, I took the train. I didn't have a car. I took the train and buses, to go and teach 2 students in the evening. So I would make like additional like £40, every evening. And then on the weekends, I remember on Saturday, I had 6 students. On Sunday, I had 5 students. So at one time, I was making more money doing personal tuition than I was doing work in my engineering job. Even at what point I was thinking, why not quit this engineering thing and open my tutoring agency? My engineering, I remember I moved from my first engineering company to my second engineering company, and that was an opportunity. I got a call, one day saying that this company wanted to talk to me, and they wanted to give me this job to fly the world, which is, it was kind of weird. I'm like, why would you give a young engineer, this 23-year-old, a job to fly all over Europe and the Far East? Well, the opportunity presents itself also. So that's the second opportunity. So the first opportunity was my opportunity to teach. I did that for about 4 years until it got overwhelming because of my workload that I'm going to explain to you now. The reason why my workload got a little bigger with respect to engineering. I did try to delegate some of my work to some of my friends in terms of the personal tuition, but it didn't work because there weren't no vested interests, and you can't expect your friends to actually put the same energy that you do in your own thing. I enjoyed it. I could say my most rewarding work was teaching, because I do enjoy passing on knowledge to younger folks, and it was just like the feeling that you get back and the love that you get back from doing that was just absolutely amazing. But then another opportunity showed itself, in which As I was working with Tuckers for almost 2 years, a company called Level 3 Communication, which is one of the biggest telecoms company in the world, gave me a call and said, one of the headhunters said, I want to meet you for dinner. So met him up for dinner. They wanted to me to interview for this telecom company. I've never worked in telecommunication in my life, but it's some way or some form of engineering anyway. But it's on a different scale. I interviewed for the job 3 times, not one, not two, 3 times, 3 different times for a job that basically they headhunt me, to do. So the opportunity presented itself, and I seized it. So they made me the offer. But one of the condition was that I quit my master's degree. That was non-negotiable. So I didn't quit my master's degree. I said to them, listen, if you're going to offer me the job, I want the same salary that you're giving me. I want a day release, and I also, day release to do my master's, and I also wanted to pay for the last year of my master's because my present company is paying for it. So it's a take it or leave it. The job that I had at the moment, I didn't have a problem with keeping it, so I had nothing to lose. So they thought about it, and in a week they made me the offer and give me the job. So it's sometimes you have to be bold. I know that was a bold bold decision I made. I gave them the ultimatum, and they made me the offer. And at that time they they literally doubled my salary at that point. My first day to work, kid you not, they gave me my own travel agent. I have my own business cards, my own cell phones, and they said to me, you're going to be, you have to prepare for a trip to Paris next week, Monday. And I'm like, wow, this was, it's just absolutely amazing. Like, somebody that come from, Charlene, from Sav-la-mar, basically, have the opportunity to work in France, in Paris. So, it was amazing. And then the rest of the years, as you call it, was history. I've been to, 10 different European countries doing work for this company, and, everything else is a blessing. So what I'm going to do is it's something that I'm imploring on people. You're going to be given the opportunities, especially when you come to America or in a first world country, even when you're in Jamaica. Sometimes you have to make that opportunity. But what you have to do, you have to be prepared. Be prepared to seize the initiative. Don't think that because you did a accounting job, you did an accounting degree, you did a MBA or management degree, you did an engineering degree. That doesn't dictate anything. It gives you a foundation to build from. So even if you have a chemical engineering degree, you still could do to go investment banking. It doesn't restrict you. But what I'm saying is the opportunity presented itself to do something, seize that initiative, because that's what's important. Make that opportunity count. But what you have to do is you have to be ready to do it. And that's the thing. It says, and as I said, that's my motto: fail to prepare, prepare to fail. I was lucky enough that I went to some great schools like Blue Blood Manning's High School that really prepared me for such venture. I remember after I finished sixth form at Manning's, I thought everything else was easy. Like, university was tough, but I was prepared for it because, they challenged me enough at Manning's so that I'm able to handle, most of the stuff that was given to me. Funnily, after I finished my first degree in Trinidad, which was tough as nail, I went to do my master's in South Bank. So in South Bank in London, in the UK, where that's where the Cambridge, the Oxford, all the massive universities are. And I went to one of the most premier university for mechanical engineering, South Bank University, and my master's was a breeze compared to what I did in undergrad in Trinidad. So let nobody tell you that that a degree from somewhere at the University of the West Indies, the University of Technology, is not. It's not good enough. Trust me, they challenge you enough. You have the foundations, and when you come to a first world country or anywhere you are, you're prepared, because they don't teach you to pass exam. They teach you, they teach you so that you could have that first principle, that you could take on that first principle and come to great solution by looking to by decision making, by understanding problems, by dissecting challenges and overall problem solving. And that's exactly what you're taught. You're not taught, okay, you're gonna learn Pythagoras theorem, or you're gonna you're gonna learn logarithmic theorem that you're never gonna use ever in your life. No, it's problem solving that they teach you to do, and that's what you should use to prepare yourself for that next stage. The opportunities are gonna come, but as I said, the key is to seize that opportunity. So I'm going to close off now, because I always don't want to be too long with this Ghetto Youth Bible series. So people, don't want people to get tired of too much of a long message. So as I said, go out and do it. Today I'm going to be talking to the ambassador to the USA, and I'm going to try to seize that initiative. I'm trying to push and see what she can do for Dream to Reality Foundation, in which this is something that I'm pushing for kids, for the hospital, the Sav-la-mar hospital. I'm pushing to to see if I could get some projects done out there also. So thank you for signing on, and it's bye for now, but I see you in the next Ghetto Youth Bible Series Part 10. I'm going to try to make that much bigger one and something much more epic. So I'll talk to you guys soon.